Hi, I've got Jeff Clark, Senior Precious Metals Analyst of goldsilver.com, on the line with me for another What the Fact section. It's FAQ. So, what the fact? Jeff, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Mike, and that's frequently asked questions for those of you that didn't quite catch that. And yes, we
Right.
get those all the time here. And we've got another interesting one, Mike, that I thought we should talk about. And that is this: when you talk about what you buy, you frequently refer to coins, that you buy silver eagles or gold eagles or whatever, but it's mostly coins. So some people want to know, do you buy bars at all? Is there any advantage to buying bars? Or what is your balance there? How would you recommend someone's allocate their portfolio between coins and bars?
Okay, yes, I buy both coins and bars. I used to have quite an array of stuff that I had collected through the years, a lot of odds and ends. And, I don't, the, when I moved to Puerto Rico, there's tax exemptions here, and one of them is called Act 22, and it's zero capital gain on any investment income. And so, but in order to make sure that everything qualified, when you move to Puerto Rico under Act 22, if you've lived in the on the mainland for 9 years, and you move to Puerto Rico and you're here for 1 year, and then you have this big, huge gain that all happens in that year, even though nothing happened in the previous 9 years in what you were invested in, it may have just done this, and then you move here, and in 1 year it does this. The way the IRS is going to calculate it is they're going to take whatever your gain was and divide it by 10, and 9/10 is going to be allocated to standard income tax in the United States, 1/10 to the Puerto Rico and its tax exemption. And so basically, I had to sell everything that I had that was, all except for a few little odds and ends. I sold my entire position. I was out of it for about 35 days. And then I was able to buy in, I think, actually a little bit lower than when I sold, which was just a piece of luck. Um, but when I bought back in, I bought mostly Silver Eagles. I do own a number of 100-ounce silver bars. And then on my gold, instead of buying gold eagles, and on gold, I just went with the least expensive gold that I could acquire, and that was all bars. Because I don't see the growth in the premium that the U.S. Mint charges. The U.S. Mint charges us a big premium on, and every other dealer. They've got a price that includes a huge premium over the spot price. And that premium has grown with the metals, and it hasn't grown much because it was already fairly large on gold, but on silver it was fairly small, and it's made gains of, I believe, more than $1 since I started doing this. And you get back that premium when you sell. Silver Eagles sell for more than just silver ounces in a bar. And the premium ratchets up, but it never comes down. This is the thing, is during a pullback, that premium doesn't shrink. So if you miss the top, you're going to end up capturing some of that premium. However, the percentage move on the metals is going to far outstrip the premium. So bars are a very good investment. The thing about Silver Eagles is it's a U.S. government. It's a legal tender coin. It can be used to pay taxes, although nobody's going to use it because you have to use it at face value. But the United States government recognizes this as a coin. And therefore, any type of counterfeiting, you would have the Secret Service going after you. It's a federal crime. And then there's a tax advantage when it comes to reporting, but it's not one that really matters that much. The advantage in reporting is that when you sell back to a dealer, if you sell more than 1,000 ounces of silver or a bag of silver dimes or quarters or half dollars, those were traded as commodities, on the commodities exchange as futures. And the IRS has a bizarre fascination with anything that was traded. And the dealer has to do 1099 broker reporting on these items. And so there's any amount of silver over a certain amount that the dealer has to do broker reporting on. But it doesn't really matter, because at that point you've already sold it. When you buy it, there is no reporting on anything. The IRS, the government, is not informed of your position in precious metals. It's only after you don't have it anymore that they find out that you had it at one time. 1099 broker reporting. It's not required on silver and gold eagles. And so it's just a little bit more private. But the only reason you would need or want that privacy is because you're trying to cheat on your taxes. And I don't recommend that anybody does that. The gains in precious metals are going to be so large that paying the taxes on it won't hurt that much. And they do have an advantage. It's not quite the advantage that you get with the regular. It's taxed as a collectible. And so you get a break off of regular income tax. It's not as high as regular income tax. So that's the reason. But yes, I buy Silver Eagles and 100-ounce silver bars. I've got quite a few of those. And I also have some of our own products, because like our own silver bull is one of the best ways that you're acquiring 1-ounce increments of silver. And if silver really goes high, it's nice having some of these things that are 1 ounce instead of 100 ounce. If it's going really, if it goes to $500, I don't want to be, there's $5,000 would be 10 ounce, 100 ounce would be $50,000. It sounds insane, absurd, but you know what? If you look at history, anything like that is possible. If gold goes to $10,000 an ounce, and if you look at the video that I produced recently, if history just repeats, and we have a repeat of the 70s bull market, you're talking about $11,250 gold in November of 2023. And that would be history repeating. I'm not saying that it's going to repeat. But if you had that $11,000, if you've got $10,000 gold at a 20-to-1 gold-silver ratio, you would have $500 silver. At 10-to-1, which is possible, but $10,000 silver sounds absurd even. I mean, $1,000 silver, $1,000 per ounce silver sounds absurd even to me. But the thing is, you don't know what's going to happen. And in a mad rush, when there's a panic and investors are seeking safe havens, and the big safe haven, U.S. Treasury bonds, has become suspect. If people don't trust sovereign bonds, then you're talking about a rush into precious metals such as the world has never seen. And at that point, these things of a 10-to-1 gold-silver ratio and $10,000 gold are entirely possible. In fact, these prices are conservative, because you're not talking about the price of gold, you're talking about the value of the dollar at that point. And those are two different things.
Very good. The point being that you definitely want to have exposure to this market and make sure you have physical gold and silver. So generally speaking, the rule of thumb is that bars have lower premiums than coins, and the larger the product, the lower the premium goes as well. So coins are a lot prettier to look at than bars, and so that's why a lot of people buy them. So if you're going to have some at home or some near you at home, make sure it's safe, store it safely, but that would be probably nicer to have than bars. Bars are actually designed for storage. We believe that the shape of the bar narrower at the top, wider at the bottom, is made that way for stacking purposes. So that's why you'll see a lot of bars, maybe not the 1 ounce, but once you get beyond 1 ounce, you'll see bars are made that way. So they're designed for storage. So if you just want to add ounces and you want to keep it safe and get it out of the house, storage is a great option because bars are ideal for that, and they're also lower premiums.
Yeah, I'd like to say too that with bars you are getting more ounces for your currency, and I do really expect the performance of gold and silver to far exceed these premiums on the coins. And so lately, what I've been buying when I buy is the 100-ounce silver bars and 1-ounce gold bars. When the premium on the silver, I've already seen the premium go up a very large percentage. It's almost up as much as the silver itself since I've been buying. But like I say, when there's a pullback, the premium doesn't pull back. It stays there. And so that's the reason. But I do think, like I said, that the metals will actually outperform the gains in the premium. So now what I'm doing is mostly collecting there is one other thing though. When you buy the gold and silver eagles, when you buy any sovereign coin like that, you're probably taking those metals away from industry. You're taking it off of that industrial market permanently. When you buy a 1,000-ounce bar, a COMEX bar of silver, when you sell that bar, it might be industry buying it on the other end. So in trying to keep the price up on gold and silver, I think that buying sovereign coins creates a shortage in industry later. It isn't something that's going to re-enter the market that industry is going to pay that premium on and then melt down to make circuit boards and contacts and so on. That's another reason that I recommend it, the sovereign coins, is simply because I think that when we get to the top of this bull market, that it will help sustain a higher price after we've reached the peak.
Yeah, good point. So a final point on this is that you probably want to think about selling to determine what you're going to buy. So what's going to be easiest to sell? So if you have coins and they're sovereign coins, meaning a government minted coin, they're probably going to be very easy to sell, and you may even recoup the premium on those, a higher premium, when we sell, if you do that in the kind of price environment that Mike sees ahead. So diversification is probably important too, so keep that in mind when you're deciding between coins and bars. And one final point on silver is that it does take up a lot of storage space. So as you accumulate and get more and more ounces, it's probably best to not keep too much of that in the house and actually keep it in storage, simply because it takes up so much space. So
yeah, when it comes to storage, you mentioned making your purchase based on when you're going to sell, and 100-ounce bars of silver and silver eagles, gold eagles, 1-ounce bars in storage, you can lock in the price right away, and so it's highly liquid. And when the peak comes, when everybody is rushing into this, the dealers, such as us, it becomes very difficult to source this stuff. And so the price you're going to get if you pick the proper items, you're going to get a higher price back when you go to sell than if you pick the wrong items. And so that's a good thing to keep in mind. And if it's in storage, then the dealers will want to buy that from you right away, and they'll offer you more because it'll be very difficult to get, very difficult to source. That you want to wait for that period of time when gold and silver become unaffordium and unobtainium, and at that point you'll do very, very well when you sell it back. So picking the right thing is important, and those are the items I pick.
Yeah, that's great. That's great input, Mike. So Thanks very much for that input there. I think people will benefit from that. The point being, buy gold and silver, buy physical coins and physical bars, and keep them safe. So, well, thanks for joining me, Mike, and I'll see you on the next Frequently Asked Question.
Thank you, Jeff. Hi, I've got Jeff Clark, the Senior Precious Metals Analyst of GoldSilver.com, on the line with me for another What the Fact section. Sorry.